Video 3 is you're going to require that cutout that was by the paper cutter that I said to take either at the end of the day on Thursday or right before we started math. So take that out, and you're going to want to affix it to the next spot right here. Give me a second. I'm going to type that in there, and then we'll be able to talk about it. I will say that I think you guys have it much easier just being able to copy, cut, and paste. I had to type all this stuff in, and I messed up a couple of times. So now the first problem, let's just draw a line right here so we know that we're dealing with the census information up here. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Can I just erase that? Or there we go. I didn't want to erase everything here. The first question I have, or the first problem that I'd like you to solve, is I'd like you to put these counties in order of population from the least populated to the most populated. So pause the video, and I want you to put these counties in order from least populated to the most populated. Well, hopefully, fifth graders, as you look through these numbers, you were able to come up with the right answer. The least populated is Fairfax, Virginia. And I'm just going to write in all capitals because sometimes it's easier with the stylus, with 985,161. Second least populated is going to be St. Louis County in Missouri, and that has a population of 1,015,417. After that, we have where the vast majority of us live, Hennepin County, and that's in Minnesota. We are currently sitting in Hennepin County. Unless you're watching this at home and you ride a Magnabus and you live outside of Hennepin County. Then I'd have no idea where you're sitting. But anyways, Hennepin County has 1,114,977 residents. But this was as of 2001. The next one in line is going to be Oakland, Michigan. And I honestly have no idea where Oakland, Michigan is. That might be, I think Detroit's bigger than that. But that has a population of 1,198,593, which leaves our final county as Allegheny County in Pennsylvania. And I think that's where Pittsburgh is located, although I might be wrong. Pittsburgh might be bigger than 1 million, I don't know. But this is our order, and when we look and we try and order larger numbers, we do it just like we do smaller numbers. We look and see, okay, do they have the same number? Well, this one has 1 million. This one has 1 million. This one has 1 million. This one has less than 1 million. So that's going to be our smallest value. And I just noticed I wrote Fairfax instead of Fairfax. I apologize there. Then once we have that, then we're like, okay, 1 million, 1 million. What's the second digit? Well, this has a 1, 2, 1, 0. So this is next. Then we line up 1 and 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, and then 1, 9. So then this one, and then this, and then that. So it's all about looking through the numbers and lining them up, just like we did with our past one, in the past. Okay. Now, as a bonus question here, okay, which one of these populations is closest to 1 million? Which one of these is closest to 1 million? Pause the video, try and solve it. When you think you have an answer, start the video again. When it comes to closest to the 1 million, we have to think which ones these, whoops, not the one I'm looking for. These two are the closest to 1 million. The question is, which one is the closest? Well, this is about 15,000 away. This is about 15,000 away. but this goes over by 417. This is under by 163. So the correct answer, and let's put it in blue, is Fairfax, Virginia. Now let's look at our next problem. A manufacturing company produces 4 different styles of shoes. The number of pairs of each style that was produced is shown in the table. Okay, annual production pairs, because it does make sense that we make pairs of shoes instead of just a shoe, because that would just be weird. There'd be some kid probably who would have like one shoe and he'd be sad, unless he had one leg, and then he wouldn't be sad at all because that's all he'd need. But I mean, most people have 2 legs, so you'd buy your shoes in pairs. Anyway, we digress. I don't know why I was talking about that. It's kind of morbid. I apologize. So first thing we want you to do with this one, we want you to order them from which is the most produced shoe to the least produced shoe. Okay, pause the video and put those in order. And you can just write A, B, C, D. Okay, don't just write A, B, C, D because that's not the right answer. But which is the most produced to the least produced. Now, when we compare most, the greatest value, we are going to again look at the first numbers. Okay, we start out with a 2. Oops, with a 2, a 1, a 1, and a 2. Well, 2 is the greatest, so we're going to focus on these. What comes after the 2? Well, after the 2 comes an 8 and a 4. What is greater, a 2, an 8, or a 4? Well, hopefully you know that 2 is less than 8, so the first one is going to be style D. Now, the next one is going to be style A, because that was the only other one above 200,000. Next, we're going to look at which of these two. Well, 1, 1, because they have 6, they both have 6, 1, 1, and then we have an 8 and a 9. Now, which is greater, the 8 or the 9? Well, hopefully you know that the 9 is greater, so style C, and then style B is our least produced type of shoe. That's all I have for video number 3. Our last video is going to really look at numbers and look at how we write them and how they're represented. So we'll talk to you in just a couple seconds.